Sorry, I got 1 minute. That clock's slow over there. Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's a little after 4:30 on this clock up here. I'm at the Town Hall, meeting room number 1 for the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting. This meeting is being recorded by Area 58 Community Access Media and will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence for Reverend Robert Merritt, who has given to our community for many, many, many years. And we're thankful for everything he's done for our community. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask the public if you have any public comments that you would like to make. You're welcome to step to the mic and give us your name. And if you have any concerns, we would love to hear you. Okay. All right, well, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from April 23rd, but they were not emailed to us from the secretary. But we have the minutes in front of us from February 23rd. And at that meeting, we do not have a quorum of the people who are at that meeting. Well, actually, we do. We had Elaine and myself, so we can vote, I guess. It's a quorum. What do you think, Alan?
Who was at the meeting?
Elaine, myself, and Helen Maroney, and Paula Hitchcock.
Yeah, as long as, so we got, what, 3 of the...
2 of us, I guess.
2? Nah, because right now you don't have
right,
a
so
majority of them,
okay.
so...
All right, so we'll, at this time, we'll move the approval of the minutes from February 23rd and April until the next meeting. Thank you. If we can have an update from you, Elaine, on any event update that you might have.
Well, the only thing that's coming up is, because I already said about we can't have an open fire pit
Right.
or open fire on public property, so unless we wanted to do a grill or something, we can do that. The Carver night out is Thursday, August 3rd.
Oh, good.
So it's always the first Thursday of the month, I guess. I looked that up and I have not contacted anybody yet.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that everybody still wanted to do that. I know last year I was there, I was having my surgery, so I just want to make sure that you all thought that was worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Again.
It was highly worthwhile. We had so many people, and we had a lot of children of seniors who were coming by and learning about the Council on Aging, and, you know, just so they could take the information home to their parents who, you know, may have just recently moved to town and have never been to the Council on Aging. And it was a very well-attended event. So,
All right. Well, I will send it.
any
email.
other comments on the Carver night out, or whether this board wants August 3rd?
The first Thursday of the month. Of August.
Yeah. It would be very, very helpful if we could get the entire board to attend. It usually starts at, hold on one second.
Well,
5
We're
o'clock.
supposed to be there early to set up. Like
Well,
3:30.
it actually, if you're there at 4:30 to set up, that's fine. We could get the table set up and then just set our table up at 4:30. That usually works out really well. They like you'd have your table set up at 2:30. I had set it up last year, so that worked out really well. But if we can get everybody there, you know, I can have Elaine send out an email and you can sign up for a time slot. It's usually like 5 to 8 o'clock. So if you can sign up for a time slot, it would be really helpful. But we were very busy. I do have to, if we're going to have water at the table, I'm going to have to talk to somebody about the budget for after July 1st, because this board doesn't have any money for that, so. Okay, yeah, so we will work on that. So we really should have water on ice, and we should have some type of food, you know.
Got cookies last year.
Yeah.
Days old.
Yeah, so that worked out really well. Alan?
Yeah, just a couple of things under the heading of entertainment. First off, does the Council on Aging have a large grill for outside cooking?
That's really nice. A couple, I believe.
Okay, so we have that. Just for future reference, I did talk to the chairman of the Finance Committee, and, you know, if we have an event we want to go ahead and put on, as long as we have a good estimated cost of breakdown of everything, we'd need to send a letter to the town administrator, finance director, and chairman of the Finance Committee, and then appear before the Finance Committee to make the final request to see if they'll give us any funds we'd want.
After July 1st?
Anytime.
Okay.
But we're not going to have anything up between now and July 1st, so.
No. So, all right.
But
If-
that's the procedure to go ahead and
Okay.
get funding
All right,
for
if-
any special thing you want.
With the board's permission, I can put a letter together and send it.
No, you have to come up with what it's for.
Right.
And what the cost is. So you have to have a firm plan. You just can't say, can we have $500?
Oh, no, I know, but we would research the cost of the water and find out how much that is, and,
We're talking that it would be reimbursement for what we already spent.
No, that, you'd have to get permission beforehand, but, you know, the police department has abundant water and everything for people. So, you know, to go ahead and have our own cold water, I think that's kind of redundant.
actually, we did have the water because it was very, very hot last year, and it was the water went. So, and I know they do have water, but it is needed. We could have juice boxes if you wanted juice boxes or something like that, or iced tea for something different. But,
Okay.
Connie?
Through the chair. But to Alan's point, if the police have a supply of water for the event itself, can they provide a supply for the table?
A table.
And that way, the ice maybe is purchased in the ice chest,
Mhm.
or however you want to display it.
Mhm.
In that way, because I'm sure there's a great amount of water that they're getting for that event.
Okay,
Whatever funding that they
we
have.
can check and see.
I would
what
check
it
with the
says.
police union,
Okay, we'll see what they say.
Stewart.
All right. Anything else for that event? The cookies went over really well.
I did, and then I had, the EMS gave her some, you know, the emergency files, and
Mhm.
Connie had some things from the COA bookmarks and things like that, so hopefully we could utilize those
I
again.
actually have a supply of both, so.
Perfect.
Okay.
we could do
And
that.
then the cookies, I think we only had one box last
Yeah, I
year.
got a big box from.
A big box, but yeah, but that went,
Did it?
yeah,
Okay.
so maybe we could get 2
But
boxes.
that would be something I would think, Madam Chair, that, you know, that is a minor cost that, you know, if we have to, I'd come out of pocket for it. I mean,
Well, Alan.
that's not something to go ahead and, I would think if you're going before the Finance Committee for money, you're looking more like in the hundreds of dollars, not
If I
in the
can
$20.
give you an idea, we've had 3 or 4 events, and every single one of us on the board have spent our own money, and it's come to over $500. So the events we do are not expensive, but when you do 3 or 4 events in a year, it all adds up. So that's what we're talking about.
Okay, in that case, you know, if you want to just, I would touch base with the chairman of the finance committee for guidance as
Okay.
to whether it would have to be for a specific event or if it would be to cover 4 events or something like that
Okay.
throughout the year.
All right, I'll check with him and see what would be the best approach to get some financial assistance for these events. Do you have anything
Well,
else?
the only other thing, Mary had suggested several months ago about perhaps having an afternoon to eat,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't know if you'd given any more
Yeah,
thought
I
to that.
will. I was gonna be away beginning of July and the end of August and September. What if we do it like in September? Would that be like the middle of September?
We, I don't have a date yet, but we were gonna do the farmer's market, like probably the
Mm.
second or third weekend. But that's on a Sunday, so I don't know.
It's on a Sunday, but we could do it Saturday, or we could do it after. I'm just saying, I'm gonna be away for
Okay.
2 weeks in July and a week at the end.
Connie, I can't hear you.
Through the chair. The farmer's market in October
Mhm.
instead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we had talked about the farmer's market. Uh, Connie, if I can just ask you a quick question about the tea. Do you think a tea would be better in December, something like that?
I think the holidays get too crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
But I think September would be nice, actually. 'Cause
Okay.
it's, we're just moving out of the summer month.
Mhm.
It would be a nice offering, I think, to have in September.
okay. And if the board would like, we can have a guest speaker at that event too. And maybe we can get a little bit more people to attend the tea, and they can talk for like 10 or 15 minutes or something like that. I can make arrangements for something. We could, if we did it in September, we could do it on fall prevention. I know we have a workshop the end of September on fall prevention at the Carver Council on Aging, but we could pull something together to do a presentation. And I think that would be really good on our advertisement to bring more people who might want to come and learn a little bit more. Yes.
Okay, through the chair. Could we make it something fun?
Okay.
And not too serious?
Okay, well, maybe we could just think about what type of activity would be fun.
Or maybe an entertainment versus
An entertainment person.
something? I think that would lend itself nicely.
Yeah,
Maybe even like a chamber
okay.
room or something. To make it, 'cause if we're gonna do tea, we have to be fancy.
I might be able to do, find out about a harp, a person who plays the harp in town that may be interested.
Yeah.
Michael, any ideas?
I have other ideas about other things.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
no, I was thinking the same track as music, something music, but I don't know, you know.
So Mary and Elaine, do you two want to work on the tea and then report back to the board on the next meeting so that we can get more ideas? You know, come up with ideas and then bring it before the board so that we can find out what you would like to do? Okay. Michael, do you have anything?
Well, something I mentioned to you and I haven't followed up on is the idea of having a men's coffee club.
Okay.
And the other thing is that once the pickleball club courts go in, yeah, I've been involved in pickleball for about 50 years, so I would volunteer to have lessons for any of the people at the COA that would like to learn pickleball.
That would be
when the
really,
time comes.
that would be,
Coordinate that through recreation.
yeah, but that would be
We're not in charge, we're not
Right.
in charge of the.
using the court.
and
But you can Emily will be more than happy to talk to you, and then we can set something up, and we can advertise it through the newsletter or whatever. And it could be for senior, adults during the day, pick a day or something like that. That's good. The men's breakfast, are you thinking like an ongoing program or just one program and try it out?
I figure if we try it out maybe once a month, and we'll see how it goes from there. I wouldn't do a breakfast, I'd just do a coffee.
Okay, and then will you take the lead on that and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it and report back to this board and let the board know so that we can get it official and then we can go from there?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Alan, do you have any?
No, sounds
Confirm.
good.
Okay. All right, so Elaine, anything further?
That's it for now.
Okay. All right, so at this point, I will contact the finance director of how he wants us to proceed about funding. Elaine, do you want to contact the police union
Yes.
about the water? Mary, you're going to take the lead on the tea, and then Michael, you'll take the lead on the men's breakfast. And you're going to need to consult with Connie about
Oh, yeah,
that and see
definitely.
exactly what will work, what
Yep.
time, and so on and so forth. And were you thinking of having this men's breakfast during the weekday?
Coffee.
A coffee during the weekday?
No, probably during the week would be fine.
Okay,
Right.
good, okay. All right, I just was thinking about the building, that's all.
I'm just thinking we could have them come in just a little early, and if they wanted to stay for lunch or something, and that way maybe we can get a few more people coming in.
Agreed. Sounds good.
Perfect. All right, the next item on the agenda is the building maintenance. And at our last meeting, the board asked me to attend a meeting. I attended a meeting on May 4th at 11 o'clock at the Council on Aging. The town administrator was there. The operations and maintenance director, Dave Seedentop, was there. The operations and maintenance deputy director, John Woods, was there. The Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors Chair, which is myself, was there. The Council on Aging Director, Connie Kelly, was there. And Michael Ball attended. John Ball attended. And he is an assistant manager? Is that what his position is?
I didn't have his title.
Okay, all right, and then Elaine Weston, she attended as well. We talked about the last major renovation on the Council on Aging was in 2010, and after CPA funds were approved at a 2008 annual town meeting with the installation of the ADA compliant ramps, improved accessibility, they modified the restrooms, new fencing, lighting, and walkway. While we were at this meeting, we discovered that there was formerly a trustees group that managed the Marcus Atwood building, the maintenance of the building and the grounds. They kind of were the trustees of that. At this point, the trustees committee no longer exists, and I'm in the process of trying to locate more information on that. I contacted the town clerk today for some direction on that, as well as the assistant town administrator, and I checked with Mr. Dunham to my right, and he suggested maybe contacting Mr. Ward, Dick Ward, to see if he had any ideas or find out who is on the committee and where the minutes are and how this committee dissolved, because at this point we really need something to put back together to help with the building scheduling of maintenancing, and just someone there that can just assist the board. So that was that. So in 2018, there was an earmark of $18,000 for a feasibility study for a new COA. After a proposed addition to the library for a new COA was defeated, the $18,000 was then used to conduct a town-wide survey to determine the needs and desires of the Carver senior population. We do have the results of that survey, and it is available online as well. A directive by then town administrator Michael Malinowski removed the COA from any capital outlay expenditures, improvements, and maintenance, as well as overall support from the town departments. IT was no longer providing computer support to the COA. Initial request by the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors for a regular maintenance schedule was issued in 2019, and at this point, I still haven't received it, but I have really good news because work is being done on the Council on Aging at the present time. 2020, the interim town administrator, Rick LaFond, and in October of 2020, as a new director, Connie Kelly researched and found ways to use the CARES Act funds to refurbish the nutrition center, along with support from operations and maintenance, and additional funding that Rick was able to supply for new flooring, cabinet kitchens, and a new dishwasher. The Earth Removal Committee funded the paving of the Nutrition Center driveway area and the front sidewalks, and they recently made a larger spot for the bus to turn around and drop our seniors off at the door. 2022 earmark funds are currently funding new railings and a ductless heating and cooling system. That is supposed to be installed by June 29th of this year. We're still waiting on an exact date for that. The railings have been installed, but I noticed that there was no bottom railing on the railings. There was just a top railing. And anybody that was in a wheelchair that used that ramp going down could accidentally get their neck caught on the railing. So I contacted the director of operations and asked if they had finished the railings, because it's very dangerous right now. And he said that they are going to come back and add a bottom railing. So usually they either add a bottom railing or they make a lip of cement or something so the wheelchair can't go underneath those railings. So they chose to add another railing to the bottom so that the wheelchair doesn't go underneath the railing. So that's going to be completed. I had a really big concern about the end of the ramp coming out to the driveway is about a lip like this, and you can't get a wheelchair up there unless somebody physically tips it back and pushes it forward, or you go backwards up the ramp and someone pulls you up there. So that is in the middle of being looked at and try to come up with a way to make an elevation down towards the driveway that's ADA compliant and safe. Along with the railing, I said that the decor of the railing, as it presently stands, does not match the decor of a historical building. It is, I don't even know what kind of metal it is, but it's just plain metal. And I suggested that maybe it could be painted black or white to match the building, because right now it just doesn't, it's not pretty at all. But you can't complain because we finally have our railing, but it's not completed as of yet. We did ARPA fundings, ARPA funding for the 5 new freezers and 1 new refrigerator for improved food storage. And then many of you know the food storage was outside, down the stairs, around the corner, and in what was known as the spider room at the Council on Aging. So that has now been improved. All the freezers have been brought into the building downstairs, or we have an outdoor walk-in freezer that's outside. So that is this board, we really worked hard and pushed for new freezers, and along with the director, to make sure that gets corrected, because we were concerned with the cook going down there, and there's no phone system down there. And if something happened, then, she wouldn't be able to call for help. So now it's all done and taken care of the right way. So we're thankful for that. And all right, let me see. So future improvements, additional meeting requests for ARPA funds for computers and printer replacement for the COA library, a wireless Bluetooth Bluetooth speaker system in the nutrition center. We would like to have an overlook deck for outdoor activities and a replacement stove for the kitchen. Now, the replacement stove for the kitchen is very necessary along with a ventilation system, because presently the ventilation system is working, but it doesn't work all the time the way it's supposed to work. And I did have them look at it, and it's definitely, there needs to have something done. So they're in the process. The cook is investigating the cost of a stove for us right now, and we'll get back to this board as soon as we have more information on the cost of a stove and the ventilation system that needs to be appropriate for cooking in a kitchen. All right, so moving on. I had asked the director, why doesn't Carver use the prisoners anymore? I said, we always use the prisoners in the past to help with different maintenance projects in the town. So he reached out to the sheriff's department, and since that, they have worked on painting the outside of the Council on Aging building, so that's been worked on the last 3 weeks, Connie, would you say? So the last 3 weeks they've been working on it. So that's a really great asset. So that's being worked on. We also need to have some rotting wood replaced and landscaping done to the exterior of the building as well. Now that I'm on that area, I just want to talk a little bit about the railing again. So for all of you who have walked down the stairs from the main building to the parking lot, you know that they got the white railings as you walk down the stairs. I was highly concerned that we have the stairs going down, and from the sidewalk down, there is a drop-off about 4 feet, and there's no railing there at all. And if somebody lost their balance, they're going to go right down to the driveway off of that system. And so I asked them about that, because I said it's very dangerous at this point. I am surprised it never got corrected.
It has been brought up in that, but they haven't corrected it yet.
Okay.
We pointed it out to O&M as well.
Okay, so thank you for that, Connie. So that needs to be done, and that needs to be taken care of, and I'll let you talk further on that when you do yours. But so that needs to be done. We talked about interior painting of the parlor room, the library, and the hallway. So those areas need updating. The wallpaper needs to be looked at, and you know how they're gonna either paint over the old wallpaper or what they're gonna do. So they need to work on that. Parking lot repaving and possible expansion of extra spaces, that was talked about. And the steps to the future. So a written maintenance schedule needs to be turned into this board so that we have an idea of what is happening as far as maintenance at the Council on Aging building, since we do not have a trustees group to overlook. You know, they should be reporting to the director, and, you know, and then the director should be giving us a report of a schedule of the maintenance at the building. A timeline and projected outcomes and completion dates for these projects. Also, we talked about an article to be proposed for next year's town meeting requesting a feasibility study for the Council on Aging for the future for a building. We talked about a committee to be formed consisting of town leaders, resident seniors, and other participants that would like to, you know, they might have different departments be on that study to figure out exactly what we should do. We all know we need a new COA. We're not talking about tomorrow. We're not talking about next year. We're probably talking about maybe 10 years from now, but something, it needs to be started now in order to push it out for 10 years. So that is the meeting. Does anybody have any questions about what I just read? No?
Yep.
Okay. All right, okay. The next item on the agenda is the director's report.
The
Do you have-
update, oh,
Excuse me
sorry.
1 minute. Do you have a copy of the director's report, Michael?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a copy of the director's report?
Oh, well, I was looking on.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
I gave you enough for everybody.
All right, go ahead. Connie.
Yep,
You do, okay.
The updates for the month of May, the GATRA bus trips are up to 600. An update with GATRA is that we have received a 4th bus, and we've added to our drivers that we're up to 9 drivers, and I think we still have an opening for 1 more. So we'd like to advertise that, and that's helping us take care of the sheer volume of ridership, because that's been increasing every month. And the 4th bus is really taking the pressure off. So that's actually really good news.
Are you a representative to the GATRA meetings?
The GATRA Advisory Board, yes.
Okay, all right. And do they presently store the buses in a garage right now? How does that work?
Well,
Where are they stored?
Right. They had been in the firehouse garages, but they're currently out in the parking lot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
The nutrition statistics, the congregate meals for the month of May were 267, and meals on the move, the home-delivered meals, were 774. The combination of the two, on average, we usually are around 1,000 meals per month. The My Senior Center registrations to date, this is ongoing from the start of My Senior Center. We are currently at a membership of 372. We've emailed out 603 newsletters and physically mailed 840 and distributed 350 throughout the town. Some of the events that occurred in the month of May was a lot of fun. The Cinco de Mayo lunch celebration, we had a taco bar with a lot of additional fun activities with the Mexican theme. We had a Color Me Happy with Soothing Touch to Go program, which was a guided free expression of art program. The Walking Club had their first meeting, and those that attended decided to create a schedule of walking at this time twice a week, Thursdays and Saturdays at Savory Avenue, meeting at 9 a.m.
Wow.
And they're planning to discuss on a monthly basis other locations and other perhaps days to consider for increasing participation.
So
In fact,
currently, it's Thursdays and Saturdays at
Thursdays
9 a.m.?
at 9 a.m. at Savory Avenue where they
Oh,
meet.
good, okay.
And so they're currently already starting the process, but I included this update in the next newsletter as well.
Can I just stop you right there? So if anybody on the board is not registered as a member of the Council on Aging, if you could register, because you get a little scanning card, and every time you go, if you're just stopping in just to say hi or whatever, if you can scan it, and so that Connie knows that you've been in, and she doesn't always know because she's way down the other end of the building. And it's a little scanner, and just, it'll say, you know, what, I always do it, and I put my name in, and then it says, are you here to volunteer? And if you are on this board, you are going in as a volunteer. Okay, you have one too. Okay,
That's what
that's
it is.
awesome. So that, yeah, so make sure you are filling that, that out, okay?
And then we pick-
Yeah.
I see
All
what
right.
they're up to.
All right, thank you.
I also wanted to mention for the first time we tried a health and safety fair, which was held on Saturday, May 20th. We had about 80 to 100 attendees. I also wanted to take this time to thank those that were there for this event. We had representatives of the Plymouth County DA and Sheriff's Departments, as well as Carver Fire, Police, Emergency Management, and Carver EMS, who provided a blood pressure clinic along with our public health nurse, Patricia I forget her last name, but she's now currently established once a week as our wellness clinic public health nurse. Aya Frady, I believe. Sorry, I forgot her name. Thanks also to the representatives of the local businesses, Anytime Fitness, Eat Fits, Moxie Mobility, and doTERRA Essential Oils. Also, our chair yoga and qigong instructors were on hand to promote their classes and answer any questions about their programs. We had great information and a lot of freebies that were provided, plus raffle prizes that were sponsored by the Friends of Carver COA. The help by all the volunteers to make this a successful event was truly appreciated. We did have a little rainy weather, which postponed the canine demonstration that we were scheduled to do with the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, which we are discussing to reschedule for sometime in September. Another popular event in the month was just recently held was the plant-based diet nutrition program, which was presented by BID registered dietitian Marsha Richards, who's come pretty much on a every other month basis with some of her nutrition programs, and they're always very well attended. We're looking at, I believe, August perhaps for summer smoothie nutrition offering as well. The June newsletter is attached to the report as well with more details on the upcoming programs. We're adding a second monthly Singo program that is being sponsored by the Friends. So they're covering the cost of that, and that will be offered every third Tuesday. We're currently on our schedule, which we've had for a couple of years now, is Singo on every first Monday. And by offering another day at a different time in the month, hopefully that will reach some people that haven't been able to make it on the Mondays. We have something that's been requested by seniors in the past, a Lifeline Medical Alert presentation to really find out more about how they work, what features to look for if anyone is looking for that type of system. Notable Blend is an all-women kind of a barbershop-style a cappella group, and they've received a Carver Cultural Council grant to do for the COA, and their only available time was in the evening, so this will be an opportunity for us to offer an evening program on Wednesday, June 21st at 7 p.m. And we also have a program for planning for Medicare. There's a lot of seniors in their early 60s that are even people 55 and up clearly already considering what to do or how to plan for Medicare and really to be informed. There's a lot of information that you want to be informed about before you turn 65. And that will be on Wednesday, June 28th at 12:30. Mention of some upcoming events and activities. Just a reminder that we'll be receiving 50 free admission tickets for Butterflies of Cape Cod. And it's a native butterfly habitat located in Bourne near the canal. And this is being provided through the sponsorship of the Carver Cultural Council. And when that opens for the season, it's tentative. They don't have a defined date as yet. But it's also was recommended to go later in the season, such as it's not a very long season, but maybe time it more for August, because if you want the more butterflies will be there. The early part of the season, there's only a few. There'll be a pop-up art class. That's the name of the company that offers this with the Felted Beach Scene Project. Our yoga instructor is offering a beginner chair yoga class, which is going to be a 5-week session, which will be a great introduction to her current class going on, and also offer a way to introduce the class where it's not as advanced as the current program that she has running. And a summer dessert and lemonade event is being sponsored by the Wingate residents at Silver Lake in July. And they want to have like an information session along with giving us some little treats after our lunch time. And some of the updates, I think we covered a little bit of it in the maintenance review. The ARPA funds are being looked at for the proposed new stove, oven, and hood ventilation for the kitchen. The mention of the handrail installation
should be completed in the next few weeks, and the mini split, I don't know if that was the ductless cooling and heating system, is on schedule to be completed by the end of June, and that we just don't have a date for installation as yet. Again, the painting is pretty much finishing up on the exterior, and the areas for the interior painting are the parlor, library rooms, and the top of the hallway are the three areas actually that we're looking at for the interior painting. And the components for the wireless Bluetooth speaker system have been purchased, and we're just waiting for an installation on that. And what that will do, it will provide a wireless connection for music, connecting for music, performances. Performers themselves can connect with it. Our bingo caller can use it rather than the single speaker that she uses right now, and there's going to be a lot more opportunities to use it for other things as well. I think that's the plan anyway. Any questions?
Any questions for Connie?
Thank you very much.
I had a quick question on, so your nighttime activity, that was a request from the residents in town to have a nighttime activity. Do you know how many nighttime activities you've had this year?
I don't think there was on the list that was actually on the senior survey. The
Okay.
nighttime activities actually wasn't a choice, but right now.
Well, we
this-
had a resident that had requested a evening event, so
Oh,
I'm
okay, I
just
thought you
trying to
meant the
find
sur-
out.
Oh, I meant the survey.
Yeah, no.
No, I said we don't really have anything on our schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We currently, there's, Jim Collins runs an evening acrylics
Okay.
painting class.
All right.
That's the only thing that I
And
can
didn't
think
you have a movie night or something in the evening, like in the
No, we
late
haven't-
fall?
We have
Oh, okay.
movie matinees on one Friday
Okay.
in every month usually.
All right, okay, I thought there was an event on a
A lot of
movie night.
seniors can't drive at night, I think that's,
Right.
What'd you say?
I see a lot of the seniors can't drive at night.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that's good information, because we had people that requested it, and then we were trying to fulfill the needs of the seniors, and that's our responsibility, is to provide for the seniors in the way that we can. And thank you for that information.
I thought, that's a comment on the game night that was held at night.
Mm-hmm.
One of the comments from the attendees of that, I thought was funny. That was a lot of fun. I wish you could hold it during the day. So
Okay.
I thought, so, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's what works. So this concert is targeted at the time it is dictated by this group themselves. It's
Okay.
their availability.
All right.
So it will be very telling as far as attendance of it, if it has that appeal. And of course, it's open to the public completely, so it's not just a
Okay.
senior event.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. I just want to say thank you, Connie, for providing this director's report and giving us the information that you provided to us. If there's no further questions for Connie, we'll move on in the agenda. And the next is the board member comments. And I'll start with Elaine to my right.
Just to address the nighttime events, maybe where it's summertime, we could start it earlier, as it doesn't get dark now.
Right now till about 8.
You're right, so that would be an option.
That's a,
That
yeah.
would be an option.
So maybe we could do another game night
Yeah.
in,
Do it earlier.
earlier in the, start it at 4:30 or something like that. That way, if people want to come later when they get out of work, they can still come. And so maybe we could combine a tour or something too. So I don't, we'll talk about that, get that on the agenda for the next meeting. Alan, do you have any member comment?
The only thing I want to express is my frustration in trying to find the agenda for today's meeting. I don't know who we go to that controls the town website, but, having talking to the director, that keeps popping up in different spots. And there's a section that just says agendas, meetings agendas. And if you could go to it, you should get the most recent one. But the director had to go ahead and point me to a different link to try to get it. It was not intuitive where this month's,
But it is posted.
it
So
was
I don't wanna-
posted, but the thing is,
Normally links, so I can ask Shelby,
Yeah, because it was in a different, I had to click on COA Board of Directors to get to it this time, instead of the section of the town website that says meetings and agendas, which is, that's where
Yeah.
it should be, and it wasn't. So,
The other thing is, too, is that I've uploaded an agenda, and, or Connie's, I've uploaded an agenda, and then Connie couldn't read it and couldn't find it. It's just like I don't know if it doesn't populate till the
I
next,
couldn't find it on my phone versus
Yeah.
you were looking at it
on the computer.
That
It's
was
the
the-
weirdest thing. It's like there's some kind of glitchiness in it, so we
so
can,
if we could just talk to somebody in
Yeah.
the selectman's office about that, that would be good, because it's not fair to the seniors that, get used to finding it in one spot, and all of a sudden they have to start hunting around. Yeah,
Right.
that's just not right.
okay. All right, thank you. Michael, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I was gonna mention is, tomorrow, this weekend, I'll be celebrating my 60th reunion.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
60th reunion.
Wow. Okay.
Enjoy.
That's from prep school, not college.
Wow. Okay. All right. Mary DeRoss, do you have any member comment? Okay. All right. Again, I thank everybody who serves on this board, and I thank the community for coming out today. Our next meeting is in July, and it's the last Thursday in July, and I don't have the date, but it's always the last Thursday of the month. So we will post that, and if anyone has anything they'd like on the agenda, please email any one of us that are on the board. You can find our email addresses online at the town website. You can also call the Director of the Council on Aging, and you can request to have something placed on the agenda. The only other thing right now, if there's any material that's coming with your request, you need to provide that material, at least one copy of it, so that we can see it before we place something on the agenda. Other than that, I'd like to adjourn.
Madam Chair, I
Yeah.
move we adjourn.
Thank you. Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you, unanimous. Thank you very much.